Welcome back to Field Goals and Forecast here on WSBU 88.3 The Buzz. Ryan Adio alongside Ryan Lombardi, alongside special guest Ryan Leaf, an all Ryan interview here
Yes.
on The Buzz. How you doing today, Ryan?
I'm
You doing
doing
all right?
well. Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
You guys have
awesome.
been coming now for a bunch of years doing this on
Yeah.
Radio Row. It's awesome
yeah.
to see, the journalism school and the radio station, to keep it up and
Yeah.
be a part of this. This is a monstrosity this year. This is about as tightly knit since it was, I think, since Miami pre-COVID. People are close to each other here.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun so far. I can't complain. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say last year in New Orleans it was like pretty spread out. We had a lot of room, but this year definitely a lot of people, close quarters. But great to be here nonetheless.
I think it's because I think most people said we're going to go out there for the good weather.
yeah.
The weather's been amazing.
Oh yeah.
I-
How was golf in
Oh.
on?
I had a real hard time even deciding to come here to do these interviews because I want to be on the golf course. Actually,
What'd you shoot? Anything good?
I didn't play great. I shot an 80.
All right, there you
So,
go. Hey,
Not too
Yeah.
bad.
better than me.
But I played a course called the San Francisco Golf Club, which is unbelievable.
That's awesome. Really great. Well, I mean, let's just dive into it. Kind of, if you want to kind of introduce yourself, what you're doing here on Radio Row, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, like you said, I'm one of the cool Ryans here. I come to Radio Row every year. This is 10 years now. First one back was here at Super Bowl 50. And it's a chance to kind of use my platform to share my story in the hopes to help somebody. And also talk some football because football was such a big part of everything for me. And I do that in the analyst game a little bit as well. But the large portion is to talk about the works we're doing in mental health and substance use disorder. I work for a facility in Houston called the Menninger Clinic, and they are a state-of-the-art psychiatric and substance use disorder facility, and I've been with them for about 3 years now, heading into my fourth, and I get a chance to work peer-to-peer with a bunch of former NFL guys because of a relationship that was built with our union.
Yeah.
So it's been a real purposeful opportunity for me.
So let me ask you this. How did the expectations of living up to maybe the number 2 overall pick really affect you?
Well, it doesn't affect you at the time because you believe you're supposed to be there. Like, I had a real belief in that I was as good as anybody.
Yeah.
And so where things start to kind of go off the rails is when you don't play well, which is unexpected because you've played well your entire life, and then the outside noise becomes
Yeah.
pretty loud. Now, there's some that can ignore it, can move through it. I had a real hard time with that.
It's tough.
I was impulsive. I was judged. I'd been judged my whole life, and so I wore this chip on my shoulder, and I didn't deal with life on life's terms. Where you have other individuals, and we're seeing one in this Super Bowl in Sam Darnold, who went through exactly what I did. He had to wear that anchor of being a bust as a high draft pick after he left the Jets and bounced around. He didn't let it affect him. He just went back
Right.
to work.
Yeah.
He pushed it away, pushed it aside. Even now. Even last year, he wins 14 games, and the Vikings pretty much say, nope, still not good enough for us. How do you get over that? No, he goes right back to the lab with Jordan Palmer down in Southern California, gets a deal with the Seahawks, and now he's in the Super Bowl. Most likely he's probably going to hoist the Lombardi Trophy, I think, on Sunday and turn that whole story around.
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold's a great example of that, really bounce back. And when he was coming out of USC, the big thing around him was he wasn't affected by failure. That was his big thing, and now it's really showing as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard thing to do, and at his level, I mean, for me, he's an inspiration.
Yeah.
'Cause I couldn't do it,
Yeah.
and for him to keep pushing, and when he got that opportunity, he probably played the best game of his life in the NFC Championship, and
Absolutely.
I was so proud of him.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I think also with Sam Darnold too is like, yes, he was the number 3 overall pick, but some people regarding him as the best quarterback in that draft class after it happened, and saying he was better than Baker Mayfield and all these other guys that got drafted. So definitely wasn't easy for him to carry that weight.
No, it never is, but again, like I tell you, when we're in it, we don't feel like it's weight.
Right.
At all. We feel like we belong there, that we deserve to be there. We have worked our tails off to get there, and when we get that opportunity, we're going to make the most of it. I don't think anybody expects to struggle. We haven't really ever done it before, and so when it does happen, it's shocking a little bit, and you have to figure that out.
How do you feel about the support that maybe NFL coaches or college coaches give these young players when they're transitioning from college to the pros?
Well, I think they understand that there needs to be some of that support, but I also think that when there's these coaches are in these situations, they're like, hey, we're paying you to be a professional here.
Right.
Be a professional. And if you're not, we'll find somebody who else who can. And that's the way of the business. And I think that's the way it should be. I don't think there should be any sort of coddling. Though I do know if you go and draft a quarterback and you decide to pay a quarterback all this money, there are different rules. There just are. Like any sort of privately run business, you have to cater to different kind of personnel. And that's the difference. And that's the difference in coaching when you have the quarterback position at that level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know a few weeks back, or maybe it was last week, you went to the Senior Bowl and talked to them. What kind of lessons from your past were you able to share and offer them some advice?
Well, I think that, all those individuals are sitting in a place where I was exactly at, and probably in a better situation because I was about to be the first or the second pick in the NFL draft. So I try to talk to them about the things that they can control, their attitude, their behavior, their effort. I don't always do that well. I try to teach my son it. It's just something we have to learn and remember. And I talk to him about consequences, to making those decisions and things like that. Knowing that you do those things incredibly well and still may be second string, you can't control what's about to happen. You can just control what you're doing every day. And a lot of those guys really came to work at the Senior Bowl. It was a real physical week of practice. More physical week of practice at the Senior Bowl than I had seen in some time.
Wow.
And the game was very, very good. I think all the quarterbacks got some good work in, but I think the defense really played well too.
I mean, looking at this year's draft class, like who are some of the top names you think? Obviously, like Fernando Mendoza is probably going to go 1-1, but other than that, who else?
It's always hard with what teams are looking for. I think that when we've seen the teams that have gotten towards the top this year, the Patriots in Seattle, their ability to find like a diamond in the rough at corner that can play nickel corner, that's been a difference maker. You look at Regina a year ago, this year Umanori, and an opportunity for those guys to make big splashes early on in the season. I mean, that's a big deal, and those were kind of big finds for teams that knew that they were good, didn't know if anybody else wanted to invest that high of a draft pick on them, and instead they go about their business. And so I like those individuals. I thought Garrett Nussmeier really stepped up in the game. He was banged up so much this year. His oblique was a real problem, and he kept trying to fight through it and play. And I don't think anybody got to see the real him this year.
Yeah.
And he came to play in that Senior Bowl. He performed well in practice, was a great leader, and then went out and had a great game.
Yeah, he was highly regarded entering this season as well. So I think he'll still be highly regarded entering the draft. That just doesn't go away, But
Sometimes it does.
To an extent, yeah.
It's crazy to think that, that you look at the Matt Barkley situation, right?
It's true.
He chose to come out. He probably would have been the top pick.
Right.
Stayed one more year. The team struggled a little bit. He kind of found, and he gets further down the list. So it's always fascinating to see how people optically view whatever it is when someone's skill set doesn't change. If not, it's probably gotten better.
Yeah, even like Penn State this year, Drew Aller, like I think he could have been a first or second round pick last year in the draft. Went back to Penn State. Obviously, things went south quickly there.
Yep.
And, he ends up getting hurt, ends his season. Now he might not even go in the draft.
Yeah, I don't know with what happens with that. The ability, if he has a chance to. Does he have another year of eligibility?
No, he's
I
done.
don't think so.
Yeah.
So it was a freakish thing, and it was a bad year for Penn State, unfortunately.
I know.
It was. Yeah.
I know.
So
What'd you? Are you like college football guy? Like, what'd you make of the whole firing?
I call college football for the CW, and so I was mainly invested in my alma mater, Washington State and Oregon State, because those were the only two teams that we covered. That will expand next year with the Pac-12 going to 8 teams.
Yeah.
So I'll be more informed with the college football model, but I just didn't necessarily like the product so much the last couple of years. Just probably was a little bias to being offended by the realignment and how we got left for dead.
Yeah,
But I think that, like anything, athletic directors now, with money being involved so much, if they feel like they can get a slight advantage with the new head coach that will get them over the top, Indiana won the national championship. I feel like it's groundbreaking, but I almost feel like it's lost in the shuffle through the NFL playoffs, Super Bowl. I don't think anybody's really talking about it much anymore.
Yeah.
I think the team is, and I think people in Bloomington will, but I don't know how much the nation really
That's interesting.
has embraced that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might just be a me thing too.
Their first national championship ever.
Ever.
And no one, I mean, they built that team from the ground up.
Yep.
And I guess you're right. I haven't heard as much buzz about it. I think that is kind of an interesting point. But I do want to transition back to mental health and the league. How do you think the league has evolved to really help players' mental health more? I mean, we're seeing the stories of like Jordan Poyer, Darren Waller, those kind of guys. Do you think that's more of a wake-up call for the league?
I think they both did that on their own. I don't think the NFL really is too
right.
invested in anything. I think they're invested in making money.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so if mental health still, I think, is stigmatized in a way that doesn't benefit the NFL. And so they stay away from that as most as possible. What has been impressive is the likes of Max Crosby, Darren Waller, like you talked about, Jordan Poyer, guys who are still able to and still in their prime to be top players.
Yeah.
Right.
Having gone through what they did and overcome, those are the best mouthpieces. Those are the best spokespersons you can have in those moments. They inspire the heck out of me watching them get to do what they do. So, I mean, I might be the biggest Max Crosby fan in the entire world. I'll tell you right now. I love that guy.
Great guy.
I got to meet him about 4 years ago, and I can't wish for anything more than the best for that dad. And he leads from the front, and I love that.
I thought like JJ McCarthy's also like a good example of that and how he meditates on the field, like at the goalpost, whatever, and just being like, I think it's just a good like role model almost for like kids and younger players that are going through this process.
And that's more like sports psychology, where you are trying to, narrow your focus in an intense situation, I think that's really important. I think where mental health becomes an issue is when you start struggling and you don't feel comfortable telling anybody about it because you're more fearful that someone may know that you aren't doing well and need help than actually getting the help that you need. And that's the stigma that we have to overcome. We have to showcase and show everybody, like, everybody goes through this. Just because you're the big, strong football player doesn't mean that you don't go through the same human experiences that others do. You just happen to be a really good football player.
Right.
And so it's important that we keep telling them that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to talk about it. In fact, you're going to become more relatable, more human, and you're going to be able to make a bigger impact by doing that, not just being a football player.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give you a hypothetical here. I give you a time machine. You can go back in time, talk to your younger self for a minute. What are you going to say?
I did this.
Okay.
The Players Tribune, Derek Jeter's Players Tribune,
Sure.
gave me a platform to write this. I wrote a letter to my younger self. You guys
great.
should go back and take a read.
Yeah, for sure.
It will tell you exactly what I tell myself. Pretty much, it sums it up as like, don't be a dick.
Okay. Fair enough.
And this is going to really hurt, but you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that's a slippery slope because what if I was just really good, never really corrected the emotional and behavioral things that I needed to, and I ended up just being a 50-year-old asshole with a couple Super Bowl rings. I don't think I don't want to be around that guy.
Yeah.
I like the guy I see. My only regret probably would be to tell him, just treat people better. You can be a great football player and treat people well. You can be a bad football player and you can still treat people well.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest aspect of things.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you make of the whole game? Obviously, you hinted at it with taking the Seahawks, but just previewing the big game, who you got?
Hang on real quick. I like the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
I think they're playing incredibly well. I think they're playing better than anybody right now, and therefore I assume that they'll continue with that trend. New England, who has played the best defenses coming into this, have struggled offensively.
Yeah.
They've been great defensively, but I just feel like that seems like the trend of this game. Now, watching every Super Bowl that I've watched and knowing it's a one-game tournament,
Right.
it's not the NBA, it's not Major League Baseball. You don't play 7 to win 4. You go out and lay an egg early, you turn it over a couple times, and Sam has turned it over more than anybody this year.
Mm-hmm.
Then things become a different problem, and away we go. So it's important to understand that we're in a situation where I love that guy, David Meltzer. It's important to know that this game can go any which way. They're both very capable defenses, incredible quarterbacks. I hope it's a good game. Ultimately, I think Seattle's playing better than anybody right now.
Yeah.
That's the general consensus. Is everyone's like, I really hope it's a good
I
game.
don't like that.
but
I don't like
Seattle,
that.
Yeah.
I don't like that it's a general consensus
We've had
because that makes it.
That's
One
what I
person
said.
say Patriots, and they were Patriots fans,
Yep.
so it's hard to say.
So we had Matt Sims on yesterday, and he said that he thinks the Patriots have the ability, and they could make it a very ugly, sloppy game if they could get Sam Darnold and Seattle rattled early. But I think it's weird that everyone is so like.
Yeah.
I haven't made my prediction yet, but I think it's
You
weird
won't.
that everybody is so high on Seattle because ultimately it's the Super Bowl. Like when it comes down to it, these players are doing media all week long. Like there's outside factors that I think can affect this game, and it's also the biggest game of the year. You don't think the Patriots are just going to come out and be like, oh, they're going to want it so bad that I think it's going to be a close game.
I do too. I hope
And there's
it is.
also the championship culture in New England, so I don't
Mike
think
Vrabel
that's just
has
going
it.
to
I
go away.
do think that's going to be an early thing where Mike
Yeah.
McDonald and his staff haven't been around the championship
Yeah.
as much as Mike Vrabel has, and so I do think that is a situation that allows for it. I just hope it's a good game, like I always do. I'll be back home. I'll be home with the kids, watching it on the big screen and enjoying the day.
That's good. Yeah. All right. And then I have one trivia question before we end here. And so I did a little research. And in your first career NFL game, you completed passes to 7 different players. How many do you think you could name?
All right, let's go. Brian Still,
Yep.
Freddie Jones,
Yes.
Jeff Graham. Oh no, sorry, not Jeff Graham. Charlie Jones,
Yep.
Terrell Fletcher,
Yep. Looking for 3 more.
Michael Ricks.
Yep. 2 more. One might be a running back.
Natron Means.
Yep. 1 more.
Is it a wide receiver or a tight end?
I honestly do not know.
Webster Slaughter.
Yes.
there it is.
Bang.
That's
7 for
extremely
7.
impressive.
That's
what,
great stuff.
That's what I've realized by talking to ex-players, stuff like they do not forget. You guys do not forget things. That is so funny.
If it a college, I would have been more. I think the NFL is still traumatic a little bit for me sometimes, so I don't remember as much about
Right.
the NFL, where I remember everything from college.
Really?
Like
That's-
I remember the play calls sometimes.
That's amazing.
in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you got anything else?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's all we got. Well, from Ryan squared, Ryan cubed, I think, right?
All right.
3.
Yeah.
Right, you guys are, St. Bonnie's in the East. Maybe we can turn into a Ryan podcast.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Ryan
it.
All right.
show.
Well, Ryan Leaf, thank you for joining
Okay,
us. Stay with us on Field Goals and Forecasts on WSBU 88.3 FM, The Buzz.